If you are over 60 and you have been told for years that high blood pressure is something you will have for the rest of your life, this conversation may challenge what you believe. Most seniors are taught that once blood pressure rises, the only realistic option is lifelong medication and constant monitoring, with the hope that things do not get worse. Many people follow every instruction, take their pills faithfully, avoid foods they enjoy, and still feel tired, dizzy, foggy, or unstable. And deep down, a quiet question keeps coming back. Is this really the best that can be done? High blood pressure does not appear overnight. It develops slowly, often silently, over many years. And because it is so common, it is treated as something almost inevitable with age. But inevitability is not the same as irreversibility. Understanding that difference is critical. Reversal does not mean ignoring medical care or throwing away prescriptions. It means understanding what actually drives blood pressure higher in older adults and what truly allows it to stabilize or improve. For decades, the focus has been almost entirely on numbers. Get the number down. Keep it down. Adjust medication until the reading looks acceptable. But very little attention is given to why blood pressure rises in the first place, especially after 60. When you understand the real drivers, you begin to see why some approaches work temporarily, while others fail completely. In older adults, high blood pressure is rarely caused by a single issue. It is the result of several systems slowly drifting out of balance at the same time. Blood vessels become stiffer. Nerve signaling that regulates pressure becomes less responsive. Kidneys become less efficient at managing fluid and minerals. Hormonal signals that once adjusted pressure smoothly begin to misfire. When these changes stack up, pressure rises and becomes harder to control. One of the biggest misunderstandings is the idea that lowering blood pressure aggressively is always safer. In younger people, that may often be true. In older adults, it is far more complicated. The aging brain and kidneys require adequate pressure to function properly. When pressure is pushed too low, symptoms like dizziness, fatigue, confusion, and falls become more likely. Many seniors feel worse even though their numbers look better on paper. This is where many people become discouraged. They are told their blood pressure is under control, yet they feel weaker, more tired, and less stable. They assume this is aging or side effects they must accept. But in many cases, the issue is not just the medication itself. It is that the underlying drivers of high blood pressure were never addressed. Blood vessel stiffness is one of the most important factors. As we age, arteries lose elasticity. They do not expand and contract the way they once did. This increases resistance and raises pressure. Medications can force numbers down, but they do not restore flexibility. Without addressing vessel health, blood pressure control remains fragile. Another major factor is nervous system regulation. Blood pressure is not static. It changes constantly in response to posture, stress, movement, and hydration. The nervous system plays a key role in these adjustments. With age, this system becomes less responsive. That is why many seniors experience pressure drops when standing, known as orthostatic changes. Medications that lower pressure without supporting nervous system balance can worsen this problem. Kidney function also matters greatly. The kidneys help regulate blood pressure by controlling fluid and mineral balance. As kidney efficiency declines with age, pressure regulation becomes less precise. Simply lowering pressure with medication does not improve kidney signaling. In some cases, it can make it worse. There is also the issue of chronic inflammation and metabolic stress. Long-term blood sugar issues, even mild ones, damage blood vessels and impair pressure regulation. This affects not only people with diabetes, but also millions of seniors with prediabetes or insulin resistance. When this metabolic stress is not addressed, blood pressure remains elevated despite treatment. One of the most frustrating experiences for seniors is feeling trapped between high readings and side effects. Increase medication and feel dizzy or weak. Reduce medication and watch the numbers climb. This cycle leads many people to believe that nothing truly works, only compromises. At this point, I want you to pause for a moment and reflect honestly. Do you feel like your blood pressure numbers are being managed, but your overall well-being is not improving? If that thought feels familiar, you are not alone. Millions of seniors feel exactly this way. This channel exists to explain what is actually happening inside the aging body, not just repeat simplified rules. If this explanation already feels different from what you normally hear, that is intentional, and we are only at the beginning. In the next part, we are going to talk about what truly works to stabilize and improve blood pressure after 60, beyond chasing numbers. We will look at the factors that actually change outcomes, why some approaches fail, and how to think about blood pressure in a way that protects your brain, your kidneys, and your independence. Now that you understand why high blood pressure in older adults is not just a numbers problem, it becomes easier to see why so many conventional approaches fail to deliver real improvement. Most treatments focus on forcing the pressure down, but very few focus on restoring balance to the systems that regulate pressure in the first place. And without restoring that balance, the body constantly fights against the treatment. One of the most important concepts to understand is that blood pressure is a dynamic signal, not a fixed value. It reflects how well your blood vessels respond, how your nervous system adjusts to stress and movement, how your kidneys manage fluid, and how your metabolism handles inflammation and sugar. When these systems are supported, pressure often stabilizes naturally. When they are ignored, pressure remains unstable regardless of medication. Let us start with blood vessel health, because this is foundational. As arteries stiffen with age, the heart has to push harder to move blood through them. This raises systolic pressure and widens pulse pressure. Medications can temporarily reduce the force of contraction or relax vessels chemically, but they do not restore elasticity. What truly helps vessel function is reducing chronic inflammation, improving endothelial signaling, and supporting circulation at a cellular level. When vessels respond better, pressure regulation improves without forcing the system. The nervous system is another major player that is often overlooked. Blood pressure must adjust instantly when you stand, walk, eat, or experience stress. This adjustment is controlled by feedback loops between the brain, nerves, and blood vessels. With age, these loops become slower and less precise. This is why many seniors experience dizziness, weakness, or pressure drops when standing. When treatment lowers baseline pressure without supporting nervous system responsiveness, these symptoms worsen. Supporting nervous system balance means addressing hydration, electrolyte balance, sleep quality, and stress signaling. Many seniors are chronically underhydrated even though they drink fluids. Medications and reduced thirst perception alter fluid balance. When the nervous system senses low volume, it raises pressure to compensate. Supporting proper hydration and mineral balance can reduce this compensatory response. Kidney signaling is equally important. The kidneys are not just filters. They are pressure regulators. They respond to blood flow, sodium levels, and hormonal signals. As kidney efficiency declines with age, pressure regulation becomes less accurate. Simply lowering pressure numbers does not improve kidney communication. In some cases, it makes the kidneys perceive low flow, triggering hormonal responses that raise pressure again. This creates a cycle of resistance to treatment. Metabolic health is another critical factor that determines whether blood pressure improves or worsens. Chronic blood sugar stress damages blood vessels and interferes with nitric oxide signaling, which helps vessels relax. Even mild insulin resistance can raise pressure over time. This is why blood pressure and blood sugar are so closely linked in older adults, even those without diagnosed diabetes. Addressing metabolic stress improves pressure control more reliably than medication adjustments alone. At this point, many people watching this video are recognizing themselves in what is being described. They have tried medication changes, they have watched their diet, they have followed instructions, and yet their pressure remains unstable or they feel worse overall. So let me pause here and ask you a direct question. Do you feel like your blood pressure is being treated, but your body does not feel healthier? If that question hits close to home, I want you to comment this exact sentence below so others can see they are not alone. Copy and paste this. My numbers look better, but I feel worse. Your comment helps other seniors realize that this experience is shared and worth talking about. Now let us talk about what truly works in practice, because this is where hope returns. Real improvement happens when treatment shifts from forcing numbers to supporting systems. This includes adjusting medications thoughtfully, not aggressively. It includes supporting circulation, nervous system balance, kidney signaling, and metabolic health together. When these systems improve, pressure often becomes easier to manage and symptoms decrease. This does not mean medications have no place. They often do, but they should work with the body, not against it. Lowering pressure too quickly or too far can be dangerous in older adults. Stability matters more than perfection. Consistency matters more than hitting a textbook number. Lifestyle support also plays a role, but not in the simplistic way it is often presented. Telling seniors to exercise more or reduce salt without context ignores the complexity of aging physiology. Movement must be appropriate and safe. Nutrition must support circulation and energy, not just restriction. Stress must be managed realistically, not dismissed. In the next part, we are going to bring everything together. We will talk about how to approach blood pressure reversal safely after 60, how to have better conversations with your doctor, and how to focus on what truly protects your brain, kidneys, and independence long-term. Because real reversal is not about chasing a number. It is about restoring balance. Now that you understand that real blood pressure reversal is about restoring balance rather than forcing numbers, the final and most important step is knowing how to apply this understanding safely and intelligently in real life. This is where many seniors finally stop feeling trapped between high readings and unpleasant side effects and begin to feel a sense of control again. The first thing to understand is that reversal does not mean eliminating medication overnight. That idea is dangerous and unrealistic. What reversal truly means after 60 is reducing the body's dependence on aggressive intervention by strengthening the systems that regulate pressure naturally. When blood vessels respond better, when the nervous system adjusts more accurately, when kidney signaling improves, and when metabolic stress is reduced, blood pressure often stabilizes with less effort. One of the most powerful shifts is changing the goal. Instead of chasing a perfect number, the goal becomes stability without symptoms. Fewer dizzy spells, less fatigue, better mental clarity, more confidence when standing or walking. For older adults, these outcomes matter more than textbook readings. A blood pressure that is slightly higher but stable is often far safer than a lower number that causes weakness or falls. This is why conversations with your doctor matter so much. Many seniors are never taught how to talk about symptoms. They report numbers, but they do not report how they feel. If you experience dizziness, confusion, fatigue, or balance issues, those are not side notes. They are critical data. Blood pressure treatment should never ignore how the body responds in daily life. It is also important to monitor patterns, not single readings. Blood pressure fluctuates naturally throughout the day. Stress, movement, hydration, and sleep all affect it. One high reading does not mean failure. One low reading does not mean success. What matters is the trend and how your body tolerates it. Another key element of true reversal is addressing metabolic stress. Blood sugar instability quietly damages blood vessels and interferes with pressure regulation. This affects millions of seniors, even those without diagnosed diabetes. Supporting stable blood sugar through appropriate nutrition, timing of meals, and reducing chronic inflammation improves blood pressure more reliably than many people expect. This is why pressure often improves when metabolic health improves, even without major medication changes. Circulation support also plays a role. Gentle movement, appropriate activity, and avoiding long periods of inactivity help blood vessels remain responsive. This does not mean intense exercise. It means consistent, safe movement that supports circulation without strain. For many seniors, even small daily movement makes a noticeable difference in how pressure behaves. Hydration and mineral balance are another overlooked factor. Many older adults are chronically underhydrated or have imbalanced electrolytes due to medications or reduced thirst. This confuses pressure regulation systems and causes unnecessary spikes or drops. Supporting proper hydration can stabilize pressure more than people realize. Now, take a moment and reflect honestly on everything you have heard. Do you feel like no one ever explained blood pressure to you this way before? If that thought crosses your mind, you are not imagining it. Most care systems focus on numbers, not understanding, and understanding changes outcomes. If you have been quietly struggling with pressure issues, feeling dismissed or confused, I want you to know this channel was created for you. It exists to give seniors clear, calm, and practical explanations about what is really happening inside their bodies. By subscribing, you are not committing to pressure or fear. You are choosing information that helps you protect your independence, your safety, and your quality of life. New videos here are designed to help you feel more confident, more informed, and less overwhelmed as you age. If that support feels useful to you, you are always welcome to subscribe. Before we finish, let me ask you one final question. Do you feel like your blood pressure treatment focuses more on numbers than on how you actually feel day to day? If so, I want you to comment this exact sentence below so others can see they are not alone. Copy and paste this. My pressure is treated, but I still do not feel well. Your comment helps other seniors recognize their own experience and helps this information reach those who need it most. True blood pressure reversal after 60 is not about fighting your body. It is about working with it. When you understand the systems involved and support them properly, stability becomes possible. And stability is what protects your brain, your kidneys, and your independence long term. Thank you for staying with me until the end.